Welcome back to Chill and Learn English, where you improve your English calmly, clearly, and confidently. If you're preparing for IELTS, studying at C1 level, or aiming to sound more natural and professional in English, this lesson is made for you. In today's deep dive, we'll explore over 100 advanced C1 vocabulary words, starting with the letter B, words that native speakers actually use in academic, professional, and real-life conversations. Put on your headphones, listen carefully, repeat when you can, and try to feel how these words work in context. Let's begin and take your English to the next level.
It is great to be back. And, looking at this list, I was actually relieved we aren't just reading a dictionary today.
Right, when I first saw 100 words starting with B, I had this moment of panic. Like, are we just going to list ball, bat, and banana for 20 minutes?
Exactly. But this is, well, it's different. It's the difference between just functional vocabulary and truly expressive vocabulary.
I like that. So the goal today isn't just about survival in English.
No, not at all. It's about helping you control the room, whether that's an exam room or, a boardroom.
So let's jump right in. We're starting with a section we're calling core context. These are words that really frame a situation. And the first one is, well, literally about framing. Backdrop.
This is such a crucial word for storytelling. Most learners, they'll just say background.
Yeah, like in the background, there was a war.
Right, but backdrop it's more theatrical. It implies that the setting itself is influencing the mood, the whole feel of the situation.
So saying the negotiations happened against a backdrop of civil unrest feels heavier somehow.
It does. It paints a picture where the unrest is the scenery on the stage, looming over everything. It just adds texture.
Okay, now here's a pair I know I mix up when I'm writing too quickly. Backing versus backup.
Oh, this is a very common point of confusion.
I mean, they both kind of mean support, don't they?
They do, but in very different ways. You have to think of backing as active. It's the wind at your back. If you have financial backing, someone is actively pushing you forward with money.
Or the backing of the CEO, so that's their endorsement.
Exactly. Whereas backup it's more of a safety net.
Ah, so it's passive until something goes wrong.
Right. You have a backup plan, a backup file. You call for police backup when you're in trouble. If you tell an investor you need backup, they'll think you're in a crisis.
But if you say you need backing, you're saying you're ready to grow.
Precisely. It's a subtle but really important distinction.
Okay, let's look at bear. B-A-R-E. We all know bare feet, obviously, but the real C1 usage is more emotional, right?
It is. Think of the phrase bearing your soul.
Which sounds absolutely terrifying.
Well, it should. It means exposing something that is normally protected. A room is bare when it's empty of furniture. If you bare your soul, you're stripping away all your defenses.
So it's a word about vulnerability, not just nudity.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Okay, for this next group, there are a lot of adjectives. Banal, belated, blatant. Instead of just listing them, what if we group them by the feeling they create? Maybe start with the disappointment cluster.
I like that. So let's start with banal.
This is when something is just, well, boring.
But boring in a very specific way. It's boring because it lacks originality. A banal conversation isn't just dull, it's full of cliches. It's something you feel like you've heard a million times before.
Which pairs really well with belated.
Belated means late, of course, but it almost always implies you've missed a social expectation, a belated birthday gift. It has this tiny hint of apology built into it.
Now let's flip it. Let's do the shock and confusion cluster. First up, bewildered.
Right. This is so much stronger than just confused. If you're bewildered, you are completely and utterly lost. You don't even know where to begin to find an answer.
And what about blatant?
Blatant is always negative. It's when someone does something bad, and they don't even try to hide it. A blatant lie or a blatant disregard for the rules. It's offensive in its obviousness.
And one more in this group. Benevolent. This feels like a very powerful, almost a God word to me.
It is a power word, for sure. You wouldn't call your friend benevolent for brewing you coffee. You'd call a king or a government or maybe a very generous CEO benevolent. It's about using your power to be kind.
Let's shift from feelings to the office. We have a huge section here on business and academic words. So instead of a list, let's build a little story. Let's say I'm launching a new project.
Okay. Walk me through it. What's the first step?
First, I need a very detailed plan. I don't just sketch it out on a napkin. I create a
blueprint.
Exactly, a blueprint. It implies a really detailed architectural plan.
You're not just guessing. You have the whole structure mapped out.
But I can't do it alone. I need to strengthen my team. I need to
Bolster your team.
bolster it. Right.
Right.
You can bolster a team with new hires or bolster an argument with data.
Exactly. So your project is going well. You have a blueprint, a bolstered team.
But then, disaster. We hit a bottleneck.
Ah, the classic metaphor. The neck of the bottle is narrow, so the flow stops. In business, it's that one specific point where everything just slows to a crawl.
And what's causing the bottleneck? It's always the bureaucracy.
And there it is. Bureaucracy isn't just paperwork. It's the whole complicated system of rules that causes the inefficiency in the first place. The bottleneck is the symptom. Bureaucracy is often the disease.
So because of all that bureaucracy, we miss our benchmark.
We miss the standard, the target you're aiming for,
And if we miss too many benchmarks, we have to file for bankruptcy.
which is the legal declaration that you just can't pay your debts. And notice that you file for bankruptcy. It's a key collocation,
That was a pretty depressing story.
but a very common one you'll read about in the business pages.
True, there are a couple of others here. Byproduct.
A secondary result, like pollution is a byproduct of manufacturing, but try to use it metaphorically. Stress is an unfortunate byproduct of success.
Oh, I like that. And broad spectrum.
It's often medical, a broad-spectrum antibiotic. But in business, it means covering a wide range of areas. A broad-spectrum strategy isn't focused on just one thing.
All right, let's shift gears completely to the tricky section. These are words that look simple but are actually traps. The first one is bail.
Yes, this one is a context chameleon. In a courtroom, bail is the money you pay to stay out of jail before your trial. Very serious stuff.
But if I text a friend, hey, sorry, I'm going to bail on the movie tonight.
Totally different. It's completely informal. It means you're canceling plans, often at the last minute, abandoning your friends.
It feels like there's a little bit of judgment in that slang version.
Yes.
Like, don't bail on me.
There is, absolutely.
Oh,
It implies you're breaking a commitment, even a small one.
Okay, what about BOW?
The homograph headache. Okay, so if you rhyme it with cowbay, that's the verb, the sign of respect, you bow to royalty,
And if you rhyme it with no,
then it's the noun. Bow, a bow and arrow, or the decorative bow in your hair.
and what about BASS?
Same problem. If you pronounce it bays, that's the fish.
You caught a big bass.
Right, but if you pronounce it bays, that's the low musical frequency, the bass guitar, the deep bass of a drum. If you say you play the bays, people will be very, very confused.
One more that I find interesting. Barrel.
As a noun, it's easy. A container, a barrel of wine, but the verb to barrel.
The truck was barreling down the highway.
Right. It implies heavy, uncontrolled speed. You wouldn't really say a person barreled down the street. It needs that sense of weight and momentum.
Let's move into our next segment, conflict and argument. If you're writing an IELTS essay or in a debate, these are your weapons.
They really are. And they're high-impact words. They carry a lot of judgment with them.
Let's pair two up. Bias versus baseless.
Oh, a great pairing. So bias is an unfair preference. We all have biases. It's human. But baseless is a direct attack on an argument. It means there is zero evidence. If you call an argument biased, you're questioning the person's objectivity. If you call it baseless, you're saying it's pure fiction.
And if that person gets really aggressive in their baseless argument,
Then they're being belligerent, which is more than just angry. It's hostile. It's warlike. It suggests they actually want to fight.
what if I try to be bold in my argument, but I'm completely wrong?
Then your bold plan might just backfire. It'll have the exact opposite effect of what you intended.
I love the word brittle for this too. Physically, it means something that breaks easily, like old plastic.
But metaphorically, a brittle argument or a brittle peace agreement is one that looks solid on the surface, but you know it will shatter under the slightest pressure.
We also have betray.
And the C1 tip here is to use it for things, not just people. For example, his shaking hands betrayed his nervousness.
Ah, so it's about revealing something you were trying to hide.
Exactly. Your own body betrays your true feelings.
Let's try to lighten the mood a little. Our next segment is descriptive and abstract. And I see a few mood setters here. Let's look at the negative triad. Bleak, barren, and brutal.
Oh, yeah. These three together can describe almost any dystopia. Bleak is the feeling, that sense of hopelessness.
Okay.
Barren is the landscape. It's empty, unproductive, nothing can grow.
And brutal.
Brutal is the action. It's cruel and harsh.
So you could say, a brutal winter in a barren landscape creates a bleak future.
You just wrote the first line of a very depressing but very well-written novel.
Now give me the opposite, the positive energy words.
Okay, we have buoyant, blissful, and bustling.
Buoyant is interesting. Literally, it means able to float.
Right. But we use it for economies and for moods. A buoyant market is rising. A buoyant personality is someone who is cheerful and optimistic, who always bounces back.
And bustling.
Just full of energy and activity. A bustling city, a bustling marketplace. It needs people and noise to be bustling.
There are two intellectual concepts here I want to flag. Burden of proof and balance of power.
Both are essential for any kind of serious discussion. Burden of proof basically answers the question, whose job is it to prove this claim?
In a court, the accuser has the burden of proof, right?
Exactly. And balance of power is all about how control is distributed. In a government, in a relationship, between countries, if that balance shifts, everything changes.
All right, this is my favorite part. The C1, C2 edge. These are the words that, if you use them right, make you sound like the smartest person in the room.
Or the most annoying, if you use them wrong. So use with caution.
Let's start with boondoggle.
I just love this word. It sounds funny, but it describes a really serious problem. A wasteful, pointless project. Usually a government project that costs billions and achieves nothing.
Like a bridge to nowhere, the new airport was a total boondoggle.
Exactly that.
What about bombastic?
This describes a style of speaking. It's high-sounding, full of big words, but with very little actual meaning. A politician who shouts and gestures wildly but says nothing of substance is being bombastic.
Brinkmanship. That sounds dangerous.
It is. It's a high-stakes strategy where you push a dangerous situation to the very edge, the brink, hoping the other side will get scared and back down first. It's a game of chicken.
And a bellwether.
A bellwether is an indicator of future trends. A certain state might be a bellwether in an election. Whichever way it votes, the rest of the country tends to follow.
Bifurcate.
That's just a very fancy, technical-sounding way to say divide into two. A river bifurcates. A company's strategy might bifurcate.
And lastly, brainchild.
This is someone's original idea or invention. The iPhone was Steve Jobs' brainchild. It really emphasizes that the idea came from one specific creative mind.
We are definitely in the home stretch now. This last part is the podcast flow section. These are utility words we use all the time to keep a conversation moving. Let's try to demonstrate them.
Let's do it. Rapid fire.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. If I realize I forgot something important from the very beginning, I need to
Backtrack.
And if I see everyone suddenly starting to use that word just because it's popular, they're jumping on that way.
Maybe there's a word I just don't understand and I don't even realize I don't. That's my
blind spot.
If we sit here and plan the structure for our next deep dive, we are
blueprinting it.
And if we want to cause a real improvement in our listeners' English, we want to
bring about that change.
If I make a generalization about all English learners,
you're speaking broadly speaking.
If someone leaves a nasty comment and I just ignore it,
you brush it off.
But if a really good idea slowly starts to rise to the surface of my mind,
it bubbles up.
And as we get more and more listeners, our show is
building momentum.
If we discuss a topic that everyone is arguing about right now,
it's a burning issue.
If I want to give you permission to interrupt me at any time,
by all means.
If I compare this episode, which is about vocabulary, to one about grammar.
And if I want to say generally speaking,
by and large,
that was a marathon.
It really was. We just navigated over 100 C1 words.
It is a lot to take in. But, as we were going through all of this, I kept thinking about that benchmark versus backdrop idea from the very beginning.
It really is the core lesson here, isn't it?
Because I think a lot of people just use English as a backdrop. It's just there to get by.
Exactly. When you only learn functional English, you're painting the scenery. I am hungry. I need this.
Yeah.
You're describing the backdrop of your life.
Right.
But when you start using words like bombastic or bellwether or bolster, you're not just watching the play anymore. You're starting to direct it.
You're setting the benchmark.
Precisely. You are deciding the standard of the conversation, the level of the discussion. That, to me, is what C1 is all about. It's moving from passive description to active control.
I love that. Active control. That is the goal for everyone listening.
Absolutely.
So don't let this just be a passive listening experience for you. Pick 3 words from today, maybe belligerent, bottleneck, and buoyant, and find a way to use them this week.
Make them your own.
Thanks for tuning in to Chill and Learn English. If you want to help us build momentum, please like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next deep dive.
Goodbye for now.